What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Alexis and you're watching Talking TV with Lex. Y'all, I don't know about you, but it has been a week. I wanted to put out this video yesterday. I usually try to put out my review videos the same day the show comes out, but your girl was tired. But I'm back. It's Friday. It's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to all the lovers out there. If you clicked on this video, you know that we're talking Marriage Bootcamp Hip Hop Edition, Season 16, Episode 2. But first, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, comment on this video as you're watching, subscribe to my channel if you don't already, and make sure you turn on those notifications so you know anytime I drop a new video. So now, let's get into it. So let's just jump right on into it. I think the easiest way for me to break all of this down is just to go couple by couple. So we're going to start with Joseline and Ballistic. We left off, from the last episode. They were arguing about what they always argue about, her wanting to get married and him not wanting to get married. And Dr. Ish asked her, why the rush? The same question I had. Why is it such a rush that you have to get married now or you'll leave? And she said it was because nobody's ever committed to her. But weren't you just in a whole non-marriage with the Stevie J? Like, I know they weren't technically married in real life, even though they were portraying themselves to be, but they were living like they were married. So I feel like that's some sort of commitment. Maybe she wanted to be married in real life and he was like, well, let's just pretend to be but not give her the real marriage. So that's what she means. But that just seems like a really weird reason to be like, oh, I have to marry this person right now, especially when you were in a really long committed relationship with somebody else and we saw it on TV. Either way, it seems like she's not letting up on any of this pressure she's putting on Ballistic, and I think it's going to get to a point where he is going to get completely fed up and move the hell on. And I don't blame him. Who needs that type of pressure? And it's not like he's even saying, oh, I never want to marry you. He just doesn't like the pressure and he doesn't feel like they need to do it right now. So the challenge for this week was that they had to let each other know what they blame them for. Like, whatever issues they have in their relationship, they're letting the other person know that they blame that the blame is on them for this reason, if that makes sense. So their blame was he feels like the communication is off. She's not respectful of him. She cuts him off. She yells at him. And we've seen it just in the last 2 episodes that he's right. She feels like cutting him off is not disrespectful. I don't see how anybody can not think that's just disrespectful. Luckily, Dr. Ish was like, it's disrespectful. And she claims she's going to work on it. But she also said she was going to act like she was going to take the pressure off of him to get married. So we'll see if she actually does make the change. Her blame for him was that he uses his past against him. And she said apparently, he had a friend who passed away. And because of that loss, he's afraid to get close to people. And he admitted that that was right. But at the same time, he probably wouldn't be so hesitant to get close to you, Joseline, if you weren't constantly bashing him and yelling at him and cutting him off and putting all this pressure on him to do things he doesn't want to do. Just food for thought. Majority of the time I've been watching them, I've kind of been on Ballistic's side because we all know Joseline is crazy. And we all know that she has a mouth on her and we all know that she can be disrespectful. So I've kind of been navigating more towards Ballistic and kind of seeing it more from his side while they have their issues. But then she puts it out there that this man has never once in their relationship given her head. And this is a guy you want to marry? You're really okay with marrying someone who wouldn't do that for you? Because I'm sure she's doing it for him, but he doesn't want to do that for you. How are you going to go into a marriage with somebody who won't even pleasure you in a way that obviously you want to be pleasured? Now, he said it was because she kind of demeans him when she does it. She'd be like, get down and lick this pussy. That's how he made it seem. But why does she have to tell you at all? Maybe if you just did it on your own, she wouldn't have, to tell you to do it. But he said if it wasn't for the disrespect, that he would do it for her. I think that's BS. I think that's just an excuse. He seems like one of those guys, one of those DJ Khaled types who just doesn't want to do it because he's selfish. And no woman should have to put up with that. So Joseline, even though you are crazy, you deserve better, sis. Throw the relationship away. If you talking about ultimatums, if you're not going to marry me, if you're not going to do that for me, then the relationship is going to have to end. Bump the marriage. Because why would you want to be in a marriage with somebody who won't pleasure you the way you want to be pleasured anyway? It's just going to lead to issues down the line. Get out of there, sis. just throw the whole relationship away. Next we have Bianca B and Chozus. I said in the last video that they need to just break up. I don't even understand why they're on this show, and I still feel that way. They don't need to be in a relationship together. The whole time I was watching, I was thinking to myself, man, this man is immature. And it comes out that he's only 23. So it makes sense that he's immature. He's basically a baby. She's 28, he's 23. Yeah, she's still pretty young, but 23 and 28, I'm sorry, even though that's only 5 years, I feel that that's a significant difference in maturity, especially when it comes to guys, because guys already be years behind in maturity anyway. So since you're basically dating somebody who's 17 in a 23-year-old body, either way, he is so immature, and they just need to throw the whole relationship away. Her claim was that she feels like he doesn't protect her heart, because when she comes to him about issues or things that's bothering her, he just kind of brushes it off. His response to that is that he feels like she is making stuff up in her head, situations that don't even happen make her upset, and basically trying to say that she's crazy. And maybe that's true. You know, we see stuff on social media, we hear things, and we kind of just make our own conclusions and then go from there, and she seems like that type of person. But at the same time, why even put her in situations where that could be the case? Maybe if you were appeasing her, or maybe if you weren't out acting foolish, she wouldn't have any reasons to be making stuff up in her head. Not making an excuse for her, she needs to calm down, seriously. But at the same time, he needs to own up to the fact that he's doing things to her that make her react in a way that causes them to argue. And I'm glad Judge Toller said the same thing to him. Like, you need to take responsibility for what you're contributing into what y'all's issues are, because he really makes it seem like she just spazzes out for no reason, and that can't really be the case. Like, it has to be something that he's doing that's causing her to react in the way that she does. His blame was that she gives him anxiety because she does all the acting up and the rah 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 when she gets upset. Once again, an excuse and just throwing blame on her. I mean, I know they were supposed to be pointing out the blame, but I feel like his blame isn't valid, because there's no way this man is just super duper innocent. She's just sitting on the couch being the good boyfriend that he is, and she comes in rah rah rahing at him for no reason. I call BS on that. It also is revealed in this episode that she's been pregnant by him not once, not twice, but 3 times. Technically 4 now, because as it was revealed a couple weeks ago, she's pregnant. But in her previous pregnancies, she aborted it twice and then lost the baby the last time. And you think it would be kind of comforting being in situations, abortions aren't easy, losing a baby definitely isn't easy. But this fool says, well, I thought she was lying about being pregnant so that she can, you know, keep me around. Now, people do that. But what is so great about this man that she would really have to go through all that, lying and being pregnant? Like, why? And she's literally saying, you saw the pregnancy test, you went with me to the doctor, and he's still trying to make her look crazy by saying that she would do something like that in this room of couples and on national TV. Like, the disrespect is just, it's so bananas to me that she even lets this happen. You know, he keeps saying that she blows up on him, but he's been constantly disrespecting her, in my opinion, in their time since they've been in the house. Pushed her in the pool, talking to her crazy, you know, putting her out on Front Street and all of these in front of all these people, and I haven't seen her blow up once. So something's got to give. I feel like he's not being real about the stuff that he does. Definitely not saying that Bianca is innocent, but she needs to let this little boy go, because he's completely immature and he does not respect her. He doesn't believe her when she has panic attacks. He thinks that she's lying about being pregnant. He thinks that she just be out screaming and yelling and acting a fool for no reason. Like, let it go, boo. You deserve so much better. And she's trying to be like lovey-dovey with him and kiss him and love him. And he says that he feels like she's testing him by showing her affection. At this point, I just feel like he doesn't want to be with her. It seems like he's finding any reason to push her away and not want to be with her. Either he has commitment or, you know, vulnerability issues, intimacy issues, and maybe that'll come out later in their sessions. But it doesn't seem like he wants to be with this girl. And from what I'm seeing from him, when just watching from the outside, it doesn't seem like she should want to be with him either. Sis, go home. Let it go. Y'all have only been together for 10 months anyway. how do you even go through this much in a matter of 10 months is insane. And you shouldn't be at a boot camp to fix it. Just end it. Period. We have Styles P and Adjua. I actually really like them as a couple. You can tell that they've been together a long time and been through some things and have really, you know, perfected the way their marriage is. They have their issues, of course, but I think they just mesh well together, and that probably comes with being together for so long. But I really enjoy them. I really like watching them. I haven't seen too many of their issues so far, and that's another thing that Judge Toller said about them. She was like, you know, I'm looking at you, but I don't really see your issues, because I think they've just mastered being able to just, you know, continue to move as usual without making it known that there's a problem, which in a way is good, but isn't good in a situation like this where you're here to work on your problems and you have to actually show these people what the problems are so that they can help you work through those problems. His blame was that she argues too much, and that instantly made me roll my eyes, because one, you can't argue by yourself. So either, you know, she said something which caused you to react, which caused the argument, or you did something to her to make her have to make it so there's an argument. And she's even said that. It's like, if you don't want to argue, don't do things to piss me off. Now, you know, maybe it could be petty things. We don't know what it is that they argue about. But at the same time, I don't think you can put all the blame on one person for arguing, because it takes two people to argue. And I'm sure he's not innocent and just sitting around being a good little husband. And she's just, like, all these men are acting like these women are just crazy. Like, they just come out of the blue screaming and trying to make them upset. But I feel like nobody is taking accountability for the things they do to make people upset. Like, if you're acting out of pocket, then I'm going to react. And you can't blame me for my reaction. You blame yourself for what caused that reaction. And I think that people need to, in this house, need to take more accountability. And I think that's going to end up having to be the case with Styles P. Her issue is trust, because he cheated. Makes total sense. You know, it takes a while to gain trust back after you've cheated on somebody, especially when you cheat repeatedly. But I think they're in a good place, seem like, you know, with their communication, where I think they can really work through that. And it seems like he's super committed to her right now. I also had a moment after CeeLo gave his reason. CeeLo basically said, you know, I love her more than I love myself. I don't want to hurt her. I don't want to react to her in a certain way. I don't want to, you know, be disrespectful or do certain things. But because of, you know, things that have happened in my life, things that have happened in my past, ways that have been, you know, ways I've been treated growing up before our relationship, I just can't help but to act that way. Now, I see it from two sides. It's like, you know, we're all kind of formed by our past and our traumas and the things we have learned through our times in life. Totally get it. I definitely think your past can have an effect on your actions. But at the same time, I don't want it to be where you're doing things disrespectful and you're cheating and you're doing all these things and your excuse is, oh, I've been through things in the past. You have to learn to work through those things eventually. So my hope is that, you know, like I said before, they can take accountability so that they can know that they have to work on it within themselves first before they can work on it in their relationship. But I did think it was a beautiful moment that, you know, he was able to be vulnerable. We saw him cry for the first time. It's apparent that he really wants to work on his marriage and he really does love his wife, but they do have a lot of stuff that they have to work through. I'm rooting for them regardless, because like I said, I love them and I think that they're a beautiful couple and that the things that they're trying to work through are fixable. Next up, we have Michel'le and Stu, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think their relationship is so fake. I feel like there's always a fake relationship on these boot camp shows. Like last season, I think it was Fizz and I think her name was Tiffany. It was so clear that they weren't ever really in a relationship. I think, you know, they're on hard times. They both need some money. They were like, let's get together, you know, come up with some little itty bitty issues and go on marriage boot camp. Because nothing about their relationship seems like it's a real thing. The other couples even called it out. They're like, we never see y'all together outside of therapy. Like, y'all are barely around each other. Michel'le says it's because they're not around each other much anyway. She said in the time that they've been together, this is the most that they've ever been around each other. So automatically I was like, well, why are y'all here then? Like, y'all relationship can't be that serious where y'all need to come on a couples therapy show if y'all are barely even around each other and haven't been together that long. So I don't buy their relationship at all. Their whole, our issue is that she doesn't think that she's my type and she tries to put me on other women. It's so absolutely insane. Why would he even be with you if you're not his type? Like, I don't understand. Like, if they are real, then she's just crazy. Like, why would anybody be around you and be in a relationship with you enough to even work through things with you in therapy if they have no attraction or don't want to be with you? I'm sorry, but men will ghost you in a heartbeat. I don't know if she's like his sugar mama and that's why she thinks he's around it, and that he's only around for that reason. Maybe that's it, but it doesn't seem like that's what it is. She thinks he's not attracted to her at all. It's such a ridiculous storyline to me. If it is real, I feel bad that her insecurities and her self-esteem are that low that she would be with somebody who she thinks doesn't even think she's beautiful. Or on the flip side, that, you know, she doesn't see her worth enough to know that a man really does love her. Because he even said, I'm putting up with all of this, you pushing me away and accusing me of all this stuff. Obviously I want to be with you. So I don't think it's real anyway, but if it is real, then she needs some serious therapy for herself, because obviously she has very low self-esteem and very low confidence, and she shouldn't be in a relationship anyway. One thing that stuck out with them in this episode is they were having group therapy and they started talking about Joseline, and she said when the topic of Joseline came up, he shifted and took his arm from around her, and that he always does that around women that he's attracted to, and she feels like he's attracted to Joseline. And everybody was like, what are you talking about, sis? You sound absolutely insane. Nothing about this says that he's attracted to Joseline. He was like, you've never seen any of my exes to know what I'm attracted to know if it even is somebody like Joseline. And regardless, y'all are on a couple show together. She knows y'all are together, so why would he need to shift and act like he's not with you if she already knows that he's with you? It just made zero sense, and I just feel like the storyline makes zero sense, and I feel like it was just because it was scrounged together because they needed a storyline so that they can be on this show so that they can get a check. Because even now, since the show is over, we haven't seen any pictures of them together. None at all. Maybe that means they broke up, or maybe what I think it is that they were never together to begin with. So let me know in the comments what you think, but I don't think LaToya Jackson and Tevin Campbell are together at all. This is a totally fake relationship. That's just my opinion. Last up, we had CeeLo and his boo Shani. I love her. She just seems like such a sweet spirit. She's beautiful. Like, I can just tell she really loves CeeLo. But I'm not really getting too much from them on the show. Like, if they didn't tell us what their issues was, I would never be able to pick up on what their issues are. And Judge Toller called it out on it too. She was like, y'all don't show us your problems. And I think it comes back to the same thing with Styles P and Adjua, is that they just been together a long time and they know how to like move in their same rhythm without making it clear that there's a problem. But I would never know if they didn't tell us that there was some sort of issue there, because they don't really vocalize it. They say that communication is their problem, but they seem to talk to each other very well and very calmly, and they seem to get along pretty well. So I'm interested to see throughout this show what more we get from them, because I don't really know what the issue is, and I think if they never put out what the issue is, they can never work on the issue for them to grow and get through whatever they're going through. So hopefully they do soon, but I feel like I can't even really talk about them because they don't really give us too much. I did really like their song choices because, you know, they did the whole freestyle battle thing. I thought they had the best songs other than Stu and Michel'le, which I was surprised by because Stu seems like a stick in the mud and I didn't think he was going to have a good rap. But his was my favorite, and then CeeLo and Shani's were second and third. So love them as, you know, the personality and the people they are. But I feel like I need more from them as a couple to really, you know, follow them along this journey. So that wraps up this episode. Overall, I think it was a really good episode. I thought they did a lot of good work in therapy, but at the same time, it was also really entertaining. Next week, it looks like we're going to get some sort of, you know, argument or showdown with Bianca and Joseline, which is something that I saw coming from the very beginning. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I knew it was going to happen eventually. So I'm excited to see what's going to spark that and, you know, how it's going to be handled. We also see a situation with Joseline and Ballistic where she's acting a complete ass and he has to come get her, and I feel like that's when it's gonna be very clear why he's doesn't want to marry this woman, because she's acting a fool when she's in a whole relationship on a national television show. Why would anybody want to wipe that? But I am excited to see what's going to happen with that and to see how they move past that at the end. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching along. Comment down below and let me know what you thought about the episode, what you think about all of the couples, what you think about anything I said. If you don't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel, turn those notifications on so you know when I drop any more of my reviews, and make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and share it with all of your followers and friends. I love you guys. I love talking about my shows with you, and I hope you'll come back to talk about the next show with me. Until we meet again, see you guys in the next video. Bye.